Namaste everybody. Thank you very much for joining today. Thanks to my Guruji Brahmashri Pitama Patriji and to all the pyramid masters and all the budding meditators. Great pranams to all of you. Today is very exciting. We are entering the 19th session of Karma and Reincarnation. I'm so happy that we are able to continue this journey. Anything when you initiate, it is very easy. But when you want to maintain something consistently and continue, that is where the strength and the test will come into our lives. I'm so happy today to see all of you. Today we are going to learn something really great. I'll tell you a small incident which happened in the year 1999. That was my first school trip to Kanyakumari. Along with my schoolmates, friends, when I went to Vivekananda Rock. So we were very much thrilled. We went in a boat, we crossed the lake, and then the sea with a small boat, and then we went to the Vivekananda Rock. We were in a hurry to leave that place, but I saw there was a small cave there. There's some sounds, Om sound was coming. So I went inside that place and I saw around 30 people meditating. That was the first taste of meditation in my life. I don't know how to meditate way back. So I just sat there, closed my eyes. I don't know what happened. I lost myself. I went into very deep trance without any technique. Just I sat and I went very deep. Unfortunately, 5 minutes was over and my classmates came and said, "Hey, we need to leave. What are you doing? Wake up." So with a very heavy heart, I left that place because I have never experienced such great calmness and a great energy ever before in my life. It was in 1999 December. Then I bought a small book there which said Teachings of Swami Vivekananda. So I was reading that book when I was journeying back from Kanyakumari to Chennai. All my friends were telling, "What kind of books are these? These are to be read after you are old." They said, "Come, let's dance, let's celebrate." I was doing all those things, but that small book, I remember, that is the result of my search. That was giving me more satisfaction than anything. The words of Vivekananda, Swami Vivekananda, is the first book I read and which inspired me like anything. So from that time, I had a great respect towards him because he always says, "Give me a couple of youth, I'll change India." Such a confident master. He is an icon. He has proved the world what meditation can do and how we can get transformed. So today we are going to dedicate our session to Swami Vivekananda. Let us learn today what is Karma Yoga. We have been learning about karma and reincarnation. Today the approach will be more on practical, how we are going to implement. Now mostly everybody knows the basic concepts of what is karma. We have to learn from everybody, not only from one person. When you will never evolve. Learning has to be continuous and learning also has to be from many people. Karma Yoga is the greatest concept. We all have to know because it is not a choice for us, because we all have bodies and we all do karma every moment. This session when I am doing is a karma for me. The intentions and how I deliver will result what kind of karma is that. So let us see the words of Vivekananda. What is Karma Yoga? The knowledge of the secret of work is called Karma Yoga. Secret of work. We all do works, but what is the secret? That knowledge is called Karma Yoga. We see that the whole universe is working. Yeah, the planets are rotating, the sun is rotating, the stars are moving, the cosmic energy is coming. There's a continuous work. The universe never stops. It is always ever working. But for what? For salvation, for liberty, from the atom to the highest being, the tiniest to the highest, working for the one end, liberty of the body, mind, and the spirit. Don't we need body, mind, and spirit freedom? What if somebody jails you? Your body cannot move outside that small room. The whole India, we suffered because of British, because they jailed us. We were unable to move. The body cannot move. And now COVID has arrested us. We all are sitting in the house. Our body cannot move. It cannot go like how it used to because we have restrictions. And what is that everybody is seeking now? Freedom, liberty. I want to go outside. I cannot go. I can only go and come back very quick. We have lost what? The liberty, the freedom to go because of it's a global karma. Now, whatever the COVID is not independent karma, it is not a family karma, it's not a society karma, it is the earth karma. The earth is cleansing itself. So we lost our freedom. So everybody is seeking first the freedom of body. Second is the freedom of mind. Every day I get calls, messages from the family, from the society, from the friends, that many are getting affected with COVID. But the most important thing here is, before the COVID kills, the mind kills. The fear kills. I have seen two categories of people. One category, they have the highest fear. And whoever has the highest fear, hook or the crook, they are getting COVID. This is one observation I am making for the last 1 year. That fear attracts everything. Because fear is an emotion, it's an emotional body, the second body. It is born from there, the fear. And all the diseases go and sit in the emotional body. So when you have fear, you attract. Second thing, I've seen another category of people who are like, okay, let it come, let us die, what is the big deal? They are careless. But there are few masters who doesn't think about COVID, but they follow all the rules. They are taking care of themselves. But when few people got COVID, they are like, okay, now let me experience how this is going to be. They don't have fear before, and they don't have fear of death even after they get. For them, it is just like a experience. How you look into things matters. The moment you have fear, the moment you have anxiety, the moment you have the highest tension of anything, your mind is arrested. Your mind cannot think freely. Mind is limited to one concept, one fear, one event. So there is no freedom for the mind. If you don't have a broad mind, if you don't have the courage, the mind cannot be free. There is no freedom. Third, for the spirit. It's a very big, vast subject. But let us stick to the body and mind first. The freedom of the spirit, we can discuss later. Vivekananda ji says, all things are always trying to get freedom. Everything is trying to get freedom. You catch hold of a cat for a long time, it will try to jump away from you. If you try to lock a kid, after some time, he just wants to go away from you. Everybody wants freedom. Everybody wants freedom. Everybody wants liberty. Your kids wants freedom. Your wife wants freedom. Your husband wants freedom. Your neighbors want freedom. Your mother-in-law, your daughter-in-law, your friends. We always love and like friends. Have you ever thought why? Because they are the people who gives us more freedom, who takes more freedom. But when it comes to the family, there's a big drama. There's no much freedom. We all want freedom, don't we? But are you giving the same amount of freedom what you are seeking? Ask yourself. The sun, the moon, the earth, the planets, all are trying to fly away from the one beautiful word called bondage. Bondage is like a bandage. It will stick, it will not leave you. Everything tries to go away. The centrifugal and the centripetal forces of nature are indeed typical of our universe. That's right. Instead of being knocked about in this universe, after long delay and thrashing, get to know that things are as they are, and we learn from Karma Yoga the secret of work, the method of work, the organizing power of work. A vast mass of energy may be spent in vain if you don't know how to utilize it. Yes. Animals are depending. Plants are dependent. Humans are independent. We are conscious. We can think. We have the vast amount of energy. And if we don't use it, it is in vain. It is not convertible. If you don't convert it into a action, then it is a vain. Such a beautiful words from Swami Vivekananda ji. Karma Yoga makes a science of work. You learn by it how best to utilize all the workings of this world, all the workings. Literally, whichever work I come across in my life, everything I involve in. I have cleaned the toilets, I have cleaned the house, I have done the painting of the house, I've done the construction. When I go to some manufacturing units, I become a labor there. I work along with them. When they are doing some metal work, I involve there. I have driven auto rickshaw, I have driven a van, lorry, car, bus, whatnot, everything. In my childhood, there's a tricycle, man, it's called a rickshaw in Chennai. Even that I have driven. Bullock cart, horse. I will not leave any experience. All workings of this world. Why not? For experience. Some people in my life always say, hey, don't do that work. It is not up to your standard. What kind of standards? I never understand. Every work is divine. Every human is divine. Every work is divine. Why we segregate saying this is good work, there is bad work? Work is work. I have cleaned water tanks. Everything possible you must do at least once for experience. The soul wants experience. You have to be a karma yogi. Wherever you go, I search for works. Wherever I am, I will see what I can do, what I can contribute. You have to always be a karma yogi. That will give you freedom. If you want freedom, you have to always work. If you are always in the work, you don't care about the mind and the thoughts, then you are free from it. If a person is busy, if you go and call, say, hey, you know what happened? He'll say, hey, no time, just leave me. If you have plenty of time, you will sit and listen to all this nonsense. Work is inevitable. Until what age or what time I should work? Until my last breath. Do something, keep on doing something. Have you ever seen an ant retiring? Have you ever seen a goat sitting and doing nothing? They are in continuous momentum. Have you ever seen kids sitting in a place like a duck? Exceptional are few. Move around, do work. Always be a karma yogi and do what kind of work? Work is inevitable. It must be so, but we should work for the highest purpose. Yeah, we all do work. Everybody is doing work. My mother is working, my father is working, sister is working, brother-in-law, everybody is working. But for what purpose? I am working day in, day out but for the highest purpose. I send pyramids everywhere because that is the highest purpose. People enjoy that energies. The Mother Earth gets that energies everywhere. People can heal themselves. People can go into deep samadhis, deep meditative states. So that is the highest work. I give online sessions. Why? Because I know this is the highest work. I tell people how to come out of the clutches of the mind. Clutches of the mind. In between the body and the soul, the biggest gate which you need to take care is your mind. If you don't take care of the mind, you are a slave to the mind always. Don't be a slave. Be a karma yogi. And whatever work you do, it must be for the highest purpose. What highest purpose? Earning for my family, if I am spending 24/7, that is a purpose. My family enjoys, but that is not called highest purpose. If I read a book, I go and share it to everybody because sharing is highest purpose. Teaching meditation is highest purpose. You learn music and you enjoy, but the same music you give to the world. Everybody lets everybody enjoy. That is highest purpose. Karma Yoga tells us to enjoy the beauty of all the pictures in the world, but not to identify ourselves with any of them. Enjoy everything, see everything and enjoy, but don't have that one word called identity. Never say mine. My body, my money, my house, my parents, my possessions. The word my, we always use that. What's wrong in it? Can we use? Let's see what Vivekananda says. Whenever we say things is mine, misery will immediately come. Because if you say it is mine, the next moment, the mind always wants that to be with you. It may go away from you. It may not listen to you. We create our own reality. Very important. Possess the child, but do not say mine. Enjoy. When you have something you enjoy, no problem. But if you try to hold, that's the problem. You can be in the earth, no problem. You can enjoy everything. But the moment you say, this is mine, gone. The peace of mind is gone there. Because the mind wants to accumulate everything and hold bondage. Do not say my house. Do not say my body. The whole difficulty is there. Okay. Karma Yoga, he said, the secret is this, that we should not identify ourselves and we should not keep saying mine, mine, mine. You enjoy what you have, but do not create any attachment towards it because misery will follow. If you don't want misery, don't have the attitude of holding things. Experience everything. The body is neither yours, not mine, not anybody's. Yes. The problem is with the body. I've seen diseased, dead people. Their astral bodies still wandering at the earth because they still say, this is my house. These are my people. How can I go leaving them? You see, the bondage and the attachment goes up to the soul. Then where is the freedom for the soul? When you are living, you always say, this is my body. This is my body, my kid, my wife. You always hold them, hold them, hold them. There's no freedom. You don't have freedom. You don't give freedom to them. Then the possessions of everything in the mind. And after the death of the physical body, the astral body is still unable to accept. And it wanders here because of what? Mind. Smallest, tiniest things, if you don't identify that it is yours, it starts from everything, starts from atom. The smallest things, if you can take care, it will take care of the biggest things. The change should come from the smallest things. You have a phone you enjoy, but don't always say it's my phone, my phone. Then the problem is if it is gone, you're gone. Even before it is gone, your mind always wanders. The mind always wants it. Hold it. Holding should not be there. Enjoying can be there. Because when you try to hold something, the misery will follow. The body is no more free than a picture or a wall. Why we should be attached so much to a body? If this is permanent, it is going to be there for every yuga and eons. I can take care of this, but I know after 103 years, I am going to leave this body. Then why should I even have attachment towards it rather than using it? This is called moha. You hold it like anything. My body, my body. Even if the body dies, the mind will not leave the body. The mind sits in the astral body. Remember this. The mind doesn't sit in the physical body. Don't think the moment you die, that is, the body dies, the mind dies. The mind won't die, my friend. If you ever come across any astral body, then you understand what I'm speaking. The mind won't die. The mind always sits, it is there. Where is the mind? It is not in the physical body. You open the entire anatomy of the physical body, the mind is not here. The mind is in the astral body. If the mind is not tamed, if the mind is not controlled, when you are in the body, even after you leave the body, everything will be same. There's no difference. Don't think after you die, everything will be bright. You will see a lot of angels, nothing. Whatever you see now, the same thing you will see after you leave the body. Same. Maybe slightly improved because you don't have a load called body. So whatever you want to achieve when you are in the body. For that, Vivekananda ji says, Karma Yoga, the science and the secret is detach yourself from everything, whichever your mind says it is mine. Whichever your mind says mine, detach from it. Very simple formula, right? You have to be conscious about it. I live in a house, but this is not my house. I have a phone, this is not my phone. I have a beautiful body, this is not my body. I have taken it. You rent a car, do you say, this is my car? The earth has given you this body, and the earth will take away this body, or whatsoever it may be. At any cost, the earth will take it back. Everything comes and go. What is permanent? Your soul. You need to worry about it, not about the body, the beauty, the aging, white hair. These things are nonsense because that doesn't make any sense. The word nonsense, if you carefully observe, it means no sense. The sixth sense makes sense because that is where your soul sits. Focus on what is permanent, not this temporary, because the misery comes when you try to hold, which you cannot hold for a long time. If somebody paints a picture, he does it and passes on. Do not project the tentacles of selfishness. I must possess it. As soon as that is projected, misery will begin. I have read 2000 books after my engineering. All the subjects, whatever is possible, I keep reading. Spiritual books. I love books. When I have the book, I possess it. I never share the book when I'm reading, but I never hold any book after I read, I give it. See, when I have the book, I need it. I need to complete it. Until then, I won't give. But after I read it, I never use any book for reference. I always pass it on. Hardly I have 50 books in a house. The 2000 books come and goes. So I don't have even attachment with the book. It may be a small concept. Attachment with the book. Small or big, the word attachment is very important. Okay. Suppose in your house, every day you get your food in a plate. I've seen certain people saying, this is my plate. Every day they will eat only in that plate. So you see, there is a my there. When you identify, oh my God, I'm doing this for a long time, what you must do, you must start rotating and eat in different. The small actions will reflect to the highest consciousness. The smaller actions you must take. Why? Because you need a pen to write. Certain people say, I want my pen. It may be kiddish, it may be childish, but this is where the attachment starts. If you have attachment towards one smaller thing, it means in your entire system, you have the word called attachment. Be aware, keep detaching. You enjoy when you have it, but when the time comes, you just give it happily. How happily you receive, same amount of happiness, it should go away with the people, with the objects, with the situations. Karma Yoga says, first destroy the tendency to project this tentacle of selfishness. Selfishness. See, I want something. That is not selfishness. Only I want. That is selfishness. I want to enjoy this. That is not selfishness. I will not give to anybody. That is selfishness. And when you have the power of checking it, hold it and do not allow the mind to get into the way of selfishness. Everything starts from the mind, ends there. Now, one funny thing, I'm very practical most of the times. One day I saw in a website many years ago, Apple has released an iPad. What does the mind says? Go, get it. Rather, I went to Apple store, I took the demo iPad and I told myself, this is yours now. I spent there 15 minutes operating and then I checked my mind again. Do I really need it? My mind said no. So then that example taught me a great lesson that we want experience. After that experience, the mind doesn't want it. It was a costly experience, but I made it a free. Just going there, experiencing. Later, I checked my mind. You have to be a very experiential person. Suppose I want to start a project. I find someone, I brainstorm to an extent where actually the project has been already started. I am already working on it. I'm planning everything. I move on so quick to a very far distance. Then I check with my mind. Now, what do you think? Then I observe what is my feelings towards it. Then most of the times I see before and after the mind always changes. Experiment it. What is the issue? Suppose there are 10 people coming to your house. You have to cook 4 dishes. Just 5 minutes sit in meditation. Just see what items you are going to prepare. And just imagine that you have already done it. See in front of you all those objects, all those items, dishes. Then you start preparing. It will be very easy for you. Then when you actually start doing that karma, your mind will not interfere into it. Remember this. Your mind should not get into your way. Deal with the mind before and after, not when you are doing. I always keep my mind at the bay, very far distance. I'll never allow my mind to interfere into anything. While doing any karma, if the mind interrupts, it's a gone case. Then you may go out into the world and work as much as you can. You must work as much as you can. Multiple works or multiple dimensions in the same work. Keep working, my friend. There should not be any work as long as you know that you know, but you have never experienced. When you get exposed to certain things, get yourself, make your hands dirty, get into it, try once. Long ago, when there was a fire in my neighborhood, I went to put out the fire along with the fire engine people. It was an amazing experience. Everybody was scared, but I went into the firehouse and I was holding that. I saw how the heat produces. It was dangerous. But with the help of those people, I went and I rescued. It was a great mission. Those experiences we want. Whatever we come to know, we have to experience. First-hand experience. Don't just think by looking into those things, we will experience, we will not. Be a karma yogi, get into it. Who stops you? Most of the time, your mind. Your friends or family or society may stop sometimes, but more than that, your mind stops. If you are so determined, you will not listen to anybody. We all are adamant when it comes to the decisions of our favorable things. We are all are adamant. We always want things in our way, but ensure before you decide, have negotiation with the mind, and once you start, never allow the mind to interfere. Then you will be able to do that karma so beautifully. So it goes away from the mind. For example, you have not spoken something to someone, or you have not done some action to something which you wanted. Then what happens throughout your life? You will be thinking about it. Do it once, and you are out of it forever. This is karma yoga. There is a lotus leaf in the water. Mix everywhere. Go wherever you please. You will never be contaminated with the evil, because what is evil? What is negative? When you try to possess something, that is what is called as negative, evil. When you want to experience something, that is not evil, because as long as you don't have attachment towards anything, nothing can possess you. Your every problem is because of attachments. Your every problem in the life is because you want to possess smallest, tiniest objects to the biggest. There is a lotus leaf in the water. The water cannot touch and adhere to it. So you will be in the world. This is called non-attachment. You are here. The body is here, but I'm not attached to anyone, anything. My kid dies, okay. My wife dies, okay. Husband dies, okay. I lost all my money, okay. I'm so rich, I'm okay. I'm enlightened, I'm okay. I'm in the path of enlightenment, I'm okay. No attachment to anything. Then you will not have worries. Then you will be able to do the karmas better. Every work in the world, whatever, get on and do it. But you have one choice. See if it has the highest purpose. If there is a work which has highest purpose, I am there. I always find works which has the highest purpose. Given situation, you have multiple things to do. See which has the highest purpose, which will help your soul to expand and other souls to enlighten. Get into it, do it, because you will enjoy it. That karma will give you deepest satisfaction. Non-attachment is basis of all the yogas. Non-attachment is the basis, the fundamentals. The man who gives up living in houses, wearing fine clothes and eating good food and going to the desert may be a most attached person. You leave everything and you want to go, saying a salvation, I want to run to a forest, is a person who has the highest attachment. Vivekananda ji says that. His only possession, his own body, may become everything to him. And as he lives, he will be simply struggling for the sake of the body. Non-attachment doesn't mean anything that we may do it in relation to our external body. It is all in the mind. Don't need to run anywhere. My parents, my society, they have feared initially. When I was in the path of meditation, they thought, I'll not marry. Then after I got married, they thought, he will not do any business or job. They always see something which they have heard from somewhere. I love balancing physical reality, spiritual reality, and balancing both the body, mind. I am not going anywhere. I have a kid, I have a family, that dharmas, everything we must take care. To my surprise, many people ask me, sir, do you watch movies? I like, why I should not watch movies? Because the term yogi means people imagine, the mind it imagines it in its own way, assumptions. The blink of eye and mind is in the mind. When you take care of the mind, there's no misery, no suffering. One day you try this. Be a spiritual scientist. One day you try this. Think you don't have attachment towards anybody or any objects in the house. Try to disconnect. Be conscious about it, because when you try something which you have never tried, you have to become more conscious. Otherwise, you will forget. If you see an object, you see whether am I attached to this object? Then gift it to someone, or don't touch it and see for one day, or keep it away from you for one day. Play with yourself, play with your mind. Before some external situation plays, you have to play with your own mind. I play with my mind all the time. I tease my mind. I challenge my mind. It's the biggest war that happens with my mind, but I always win because I convince my mind. We are good at convincing others. You have to be very good in convincing your own mind, because we need mind, and also at the same time, we don't want mind to interfere into our works. A man may be on a throne, perfectly non-attached. Another man may be in rags and still very much attached. Recently, for one news channel, they called me as a director. They took my DIN, the PAN card. I said, okay. I'm there. It's a role, but no attachment. Today they're going to call me and say, we have removed you. I'll say, okay. But the moment I am a director, okay, I am the owner, the moment you take it inside your mind, what happens? The fear starts when they are going to remove. And the ego starts, they have to listen to my orders. If you see that as a role, then you enjoy. The role is over, okay, gone. Misery will not come. The peace of mind will never go. Then you will be able to do every karma so beautifully. Otherwise, you will get stuck in the mind. You won't be able to perform the karma better. Biggest block in the spiritual life or physical life is attachment. Small things matters a lot. Sometimes we think few things are very small, but smaller are always big. Bigger is always small. Big things are always small. First, we have to attain the state of non-attachment. And then to work incessantly. Work. The joy of work is, you cannot describe it. We need to meditate, because only by meditation you can tame your mind. The mind listens to you. If you don't do meditation, if you are only a karma yogi, then the mind won't listen to you. How are you going to achieve the non-attachment stage? Only when you separate, when you ignore the mind, observe the breath, you come out of the body and the mind. Then you have to retain that. You meditate to realize that you are not the body. Karma Yoga gives us a method that will help us giving up all the attachment, though it is indeed very hard. Only by doing Karma Yoga, you can learn non-attachment. But when you add meditation, it is very easy. I don't possess anything. Everything I have, if somebody takes, I'll be still happy. I'll start again. This is what my enlightenment is. That is why I'm always happy. If it is there, I'm happy. If it is not there, I'm happy. I'm not saying because I have many things today. Even when I didn't have anything, I was happy. There were days where I searched my pockets to see if there is any money left to buy rice. I have gone through those days, but there's always cheerfulness in my face and the mind. No fear. No fear. The money comes and goes. People come and go. Whenever my mind tries to possess something, and if I am unaware, the mind already goes and catches it. Then what happens? Then you need to remove it. Like a spider web. Okay, the mind goes and attaches something. This is what I want. You do this exercise. It will be very funny. You go and tell people that you have something which is very new in the market. Immediately you will see people will say, even I want, even I am waiting for it. People will never think, it's not about the people. The mind will never think whether I need it or no. But the mind will say, okay, someone has, I want it. Something is there, I want it. I always tell this example, the supermarket example, which I tell in the sessions. Many new people, again, I want to reiterate. I once went to a supermarket to buy one item. Finally, I bought 10 items, came out and realized for whatever I went in, I forgot that whatever that is not necessary, I bought it. What happened? My mind was taken away, overtaken. By whom? The waves and thoughts of everybody. Not blaming others. I don't have control on my mind. So I was taken over. Then I realized coming out, I gave a big laugh at myself. What did I do? Then I realized the concept of shopping, e-commerce, or any store's concept. The moment you don't have control on your mind, you're gone. My father never gets into supermarket or online because he knows he cannot control his mind. People either avoid going or people who go become a victim. But a yogi goes there and come out happily. When I went to Egypt, we were staying in Dubai for one day. So we went to beach and museums. But a lot of people went to the gold market. And everybody bought something. They really don't want. But it is there they want. They buy. Certain people just want to go and experience. But what happens? The mind goes where your desire is. It is nothing wrong to enjoy, to experience anything and everything. If you want to taste wine, whiskey, brandy, cigarette, no problem. For experience, it's okay. In Tamil, they say, Kalavum Kattrumara, means learn everything and forget. The soul wants that experience. I once smelled brandy and I said, this is not going inside me. The smell itself is rejecting. My body is rejecting. Okay. For experience, I have done everything possible. Yes, I will keep on doing. I don't mind what people think about me. For experience, I do everything because my soul wants experience. I am a great karma yogi. We have to do that. For experience, at least once, don't ever categorize works as highest works, lower works. Purpose is important. Purpose is very important. For example, if you go to Life University, where Dr. Newton and Lakshmi stays there, they will literally make you do everything. There is not, you will clean toilets, you will build a wall, you will do planting, you will clear the mud, you will clean the vessels, you will cook, you will cut. They will make you do everything. And recently in Pyramid Valley, they have started. Mr. Sagarji is doing. Same thing. Why not? Who stops you? The mind stops you. Wherever it is, you have to go and come out without any attachment. If you have achieved that state, that is called enlightenment. Be at rest, be free and work. Be free. When the mind holds, there is no mind free. Be free. It's okay. The kind of freedom is very hard thing to attain. But with meditation, it is very easy to attain. It's very easy to attain through meditation and with proper practice and awareness. The mind should not hold on to anything. Give up all the fruits of work. In Bhagavad Gita, this is a karmanyavadi karya se ma phaleshu kajachana. Means do works, do karma. Don't keep on counting your fruits. There was one interview I saw. People were asking a millionaire, how much money you have. He said, I don't have time to count. That's such a beautiful words. I don't have time to count. And people ask Patriji, how many books he has read? I said, more than 1 lakh. I don't know. There's no time to count. Unlimitedness. They find a way and then they travel like anything, experiencing, experimenting like anything. Kirtiji, I will answer to the question at the end. Give up all the fruits of the work. Don't keep counting 1, 2, 3. Because the moment you start counting, okay, I have done this. What did I get? You will stop working actually. And your logical mind, your mind will start interfering. If I ever sit and think, okay, for last 1 year, like a madness, I am giving sessions. What did I get? If I start thinking, who is the person who is making you think? The mind. But I know this is for the highest purpose. And this is for the growth of my soul. So I don't keep counting. I don't keep counting the fruits. I don't see how many people are attending, how many people not attending. No. The only thing I see is how many new friends I make. Very simple. You and me are not different, my friend. If I ever get any thought that you and me are different, it means I am not yet enlightened. The highest state of enlightenment is you and me are not different. We are all same. Physics lecturer, chemistry lecturer, botany lecturer. That's all. Everybody is in our own expertise. They're all one and same. There's no senior master, there is no junior master, there's no very senior master. The moment somebody says senior master, I remember the word senior citizen, I keep laughing inside myself. And Mr. Premnath always says senior means senior. Okay. So that you will know really what mastery they have. You have to keep seeing, okay, did they really implement what motivation we get? That's all. The bonds of the heart will thus break and we shall reap perfect freedom. The freedom is indeed the goal of karma yoga. Why we come to earth again and again? To get rid of karma. Why we have come for 300 lifetimes? To learn? Because this learning will give our soul liberation, enlightenment, so that he can start taking births in the higher dimensions. Freedom, freedom, freedom. Any action we do, if it is going to make you suffer, why are we doing? Any work we do, it will not give suffering. The attachment towards the work will give suffering. I guide certain people, but they always say, so today you are there, but tomorrow if you are not there, who will guide me? You see, that is an attachment. The words I have already said, you take it, it's enough for the lifetime. If you're not there, I'm going to suffer. If someone says that, it means they have attachment. See, we are not here to judge, hey, you have these attachments, this is wrong, this is right. This is a self-retrospective. Any attachment you have with anybody or any situation, any object, it means it is giving you a signal, be ready for suffering. Be ready for suffering. If you can detach when it is here, it's okay. After you lose it, you are going to suffer. You're going to cry. You're going to cry. If you have attachment towards anybody, any object or any situation, your heart is going to break. Your eyes is going to get tears. I ensure I don't take it to that extreme. That's why I don't have bondages. Karma Yoga makes us admit that this world is a world of 5 minutes. That is something we have to pass through, and that freedom is not there, but it is only found beyond. 5 minutes. To find the way out of bondages of the world, we have to go through it slowly and surely. Go through it. Everything you go through it. There may be those exceptional person about whom I just spoke. Those who can stand aside, give up the world as a snake cast off its skin and stand aside and look at it. The snake leaves the skin and it stands aside and it looks at it. No attachment, it just leaves and we go. When we leave our body, our astral body has to come out and say, okay, so this is gone now. Okay, you have to move on. Just like how the snake leaves the skin. Such a beautiful words. There is no doubt that these exceptional beings, but the rest of the mankind have to go slowly towards the world of work. See, I always time and again say it is very easy when you listen to something, you feel like you understood everything. Easy to implement. But ask the nature, give me a situation today, give me a lot of situations for me to understand the concept of attachment today, not tomorrow. Even after the session today, I am going to do an exercise. I am going to see wherever is still any attachment left. House, this is my room, my bed, my pen, my laptop, my phone, my iPad, my money, my people, my sessions, my sessions. So anywhere you have to see, is there any attachments? There are sometimes people say you are going to be a speaker. I said fine. Suddenly at the last minute they say we have cancelled. I said fine. They have called me to a bigger conference. They say your schedule is next. Suddenly they say it is in the second half. And suddenly they say it is not 1 hour, we'll give 15 minutes. No suffering. Why? But in that same event I have seen, they have invited a speaker. When they change the timings, when they cut short the timing, the speaker is angry. They don't give proper respect. Nobody called him for food. Nobody sent a car to the airport. The speaker is not happy. Attachments. Attachments. Recently, I read in a newspaper, I don't know what they call it as, it's in the fun park where it goes very high and it got stuck there and it made everybody to walk down. Okay, I don't know, sorry, I don't remember the name. So it went very high and that machine got some repair. So everybody has to manually walk down and it is in the highest point. There, everybody have only one choice: shut your mouth, get out and walk and come back. And people are tweeting, my God, I am not there, I am happy. So there, that situation will tell you, give you a great opportunity for your mind. Body, everybody has to move. If you fall down, the soul leaves, that is okay. But the mind matters. That situation. How many people will curse them? How many people will wait? Let me get down. I'll ensure that fellow will be screwed. And how many people will enjoy? Wow. What a great opportunity. Let me walk. It is not just accepting that situation, not having attachment. I'll tell you one incident. A beautiful incident. Mr. Sai Kumar, personal assistant of Patriji, told me this. Because I keep listening experiences from everybody. I love autobiography books a lot because it is very practical. The concept books are like it is flying somewhere in 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 kilometers high. But autobiography books are very, very simple. You take Swami Rama book, the childhood, he used to cry. I want food, I want food. This guru doesn't have food. It's very practical, down to earth. Autobiography books are the books. You must read. I've read so many. So Sai Kumar ji once said, that word is called a roller coaster. Now I got it. Thank you, Shavya. So the roller coaster went high, it stopped. And people have to manually walk. Okay. So when Sai Kumar said, they were about to catch a connecting flight, but this flight got delayed. And they know that connecting flight will leave. They're on the way back to India. So what happened? People in the flight, they were ready. The moment we get down, we are going to fight. We are going to fight with the airlines fellow. I'm going to show. Everybody was angry. Okay, let the flight stop. We are going to screw up. But Sai Kumar said, I was not so attached to the situation. I just accepted. Okay, there is a delay. Let me see what all things are going to happen. The flight landed in the connecting airport. Everybody rushed. They fought with the airline people like anything. And finally, what happened? They have to call the cops and take all of them to the jail that night, into at least the police station, because the situation was out of control. The next day, there's another flight they have arranged, but people are so restless. People are so restless. So what happened? They went to the jail. But Sai Kumar was just sitting with Patriji in a corner. And after all these waves went, he went to that airlines lady, and that lady was already furious. He said, Madam, I accept the situation is bad. I'll be sitting there. See if you can help us in any way. He went and sat. After 10 minutes, the airline lady called Sai Kumar and said, she gave two tickets. One for the hotel stay in a 7-star hotel and a free cab. So, and also upgradation from the normal class to the business class. You see what happened? The reaction, people who had reactions, they lost their mind. They didn't have the control of the mind. So they did very bad karma. They hurt themselves. They all were sitting in a police station the whole night. But the people who are not attached to the situation, but who are just waiting to see what best, they got to stay in a 7-star hotel. It's just a one night. And also they got upgradation to the business class. So the biggest lesson he taught me is that one word in Telugu they call it a vinamrata, that is humbleness. If you have that, always things work for you. If you are arrogant, you have to sit in the station, police station. No way. Such a beautiful life-turning examples he gives. Okay, because that situation has to come to your life. If the situation doesn't come, everybody thinks, I know everything. I'm enlightened. No problem. But situation comes, people stumble. That stress when it comes to the life, okay, you must know what happens to you. That situation will tell you how stable you are. If you take that, even you have failed, even something is not right, it's still okay. You have to retrospect and say, okay, now I understood better. Read a book about it. Talk to a senior master about it. Understand more deeply and ask life. Ask Mother Earth, give me one more situation. Now. So I need to see whether I have experienced something, whether I have grown. I always ask Mother Earth to give me one more opportunity on something which I am not satisfied. How many other times you fail, no problem. You can always ask, attempt, grow, evolve. Karma Yoga shows the process, okay, the secret and the method of doing it to the best advantage. Karma Yoga means union. The mind and the body, the soul, there is a union. You are doing some work. When you are doing a work, the work and you must dissolve into one. The mind should not come in. See, you must know when, where, how to use your mind. That is the secret. Meditation will give you the 3 buttons: start, stop, pass. Red, green, yellow. 3 buttons you need to find where it is there. If you find that, you will be the peaceful person. Attachment, attachment, attachment. Non-attachment is what everything is. If people ask, what did you achieve, Buddha, by meditating? He said, I did not achieve anything, but I lost ego. I lost attachments. He gave a big list of what he lost. Unnecessary karma you lose. That's a great advantage. Karma Yoga is the attaining through unselfish work of that freedom, which is the goal of all the human nature. So what is the goal? Your freedom is your goal. Every selfish action, therefore, retards our reaching the goal. So, by being possessive on something, what is going to happen? You are not going to reach your goal. Who is stopping you? Some incident might have happened in a office or a company or ashram. After that incident is over, you have to leave everything there and move on. But what people do, they carry it in the mind. It means they have attachments and the bondage towards that incidents, and they carry it for many days and polluting other minds. You know what happened? You know what happened? You know what happened? Attachment towards one incident because you thought this will happen in this way, but did not happen, so you have suffered. See, you can have a goal, but if that goal doesn't happen, you have to turn it. You have to take another route. Rather, you stand there, sit there, and cry. It is not going to help you. You are wasting your time. You will become a man of inaction. If a scientist, okay, for example, Edison, he has done few experiments, and if you have taken the hand and say it's not working, that invention of bulb will not have come. The goal is the light. You keep trying multiple things. Some or the other will always work. It's a process. Remember, it's a process. Any process will take time. Don't be in a hurry. Karma Yogi need not believe in the doctrine. He may not believe even in a God, may not ask what soul is, not think of any metaphysical speculations. He has got his own special aim of releasing selflessness, and he has to work it out himself. Every moment of life must be realization because he has to solve by mere work without the help of doctrine or theory, the very same problem to which Jnani applies to the reason and aspiration. Very simple words. Releasing the word self towards every object, person, and situation is the highest goal of everybody because that is where the secret of happiness and freedom stays there. I've seen people who say, nobody appreciates me. Nobody recognizes me. I don't have that problem because I appreciate myself. I recognize myself. Okay. I love myself a lot. Second, anybody. First, I love myself. Okay. Again, there should not be any attachment. This is the problem. You can be there, you can enjoy unattached. So you can earn how much ever money you want. But if you have attachment, you will have fear that somebody is going to take away. Whatever you do, but without attachment, because attachment is equal to misery. Only situations will teach you. Knowledge will not help you. Whatever the lectures you hear from everybody, whatever the books you read, this is only information, remember. It is not an knowledge to you. And information plus experience is equal to knowledge. Okay. And information, and when you actually put it into practical, the situation has to come, or sometimes you create the situation. You create the situation. We are co-creators. We can create any situation and then undergo that. When you are undergoing a situation, ensure you undergo with your mind. You see what is your mind's action and reaction. Karma Yoga, the goal is to reach through work. Gandhiji did not sit in the one house and say, I quit India. He was telling that, but at the same time, he was continuously working. My Guru Patriji, he doesn't sit in one place and say, hey, do meditate. He is a great Karma Yogi. Goes everywhere, teaches everywhere. Tirelessly he works. Why? Because only through that karma, you will achieve anything. There are certain lazy buggers who sit and think. Keep thinking. They're not evolved. The name of relaxation. Relaxation is needed. The body automatically takes when you work hard and you're tired. You sit like a duck in one place, not doing any work. You are evolving. Your evolution is very, very, very slow. The Karma Yogi asks why you require any motive to work other than inborn love of freedom. Be beyond the common worldly motives. Worldly motives are very small. If I talk to a non-yogis, for them, buying a house, buying a car is the greatest goals. For me, it is the very tiniest goals. Changing the world is the highest goals. Making every person realize who they are is the highest purpose. And I enjoy the fruits of it. To work, you have the right, but not the fruits therefore. It's said in Bhagavad Gita. Sometimes you work, you may get 10 fruits. Sometimes the fruits may delay, but don't care about it. Man can train himself to know and to practice that, says the Karma Yogi. Keep working, my friend. Always. Don't care about how your body and mind is now because it is all the result of the past. Whatever you have, the people, the money, the knowledge, the enlightenment, the body, the problems in the body, the mind, the problems in the mind, it is all because of the past. Worrying about that, will it give any solution? No. Okay, it is there. So what? You start building your future. Move on. Move on. The mind has to move on from everything. It should not stuck in anything. If you are stuck, you are in a misery. And that is again a new karma. Let me tell you in the conclusion of few words that one man who actually carries the teachings of Karma Yoga into practice, the man is Buddha. These are the words of Vivekananda. He is the one man who ever carried this into a perfect practice. Perfect practice. Buddha is the only prophet who said, I do not care to know your various theories about God. What is the use of discussing all the subtle doctrines about the soul? Do good, be good. And will take you to freedom on whatever truth there is. Doctrines, who wants secret doctrine? Take knowledge from it. All this will take you to freedom and whatever truth there is. He was in the conduct of his life absolutely without personal motives. And what man worked more than he? It's a karma yoga. This is the technique. Try, experiment. Try for 40 days, doesn't work, another 40 days. 1 year you tried, nothing was, keep trying. Because the formula we got it. The result, who cares? A result, I never care about the result because I know sometimes I got more than I expected. Sometimes I got nothing when I had the highest expectations. The great philosopher preaching the highest philosophy, yet had greatest sympathy for the lowest of the animals, never put forth any claims of himself. He is the ideal karma yogi, acting entirely without motive. The history of humanity shows him to have been the greatest man ever born. Beyond compare, the greatest combination of heart and brain that ever existed, the great soul powers that have been manifested. The whole world is divided into two things. People work from heart, people work from the head. We'll only see two things. People work from the heart, people work from the head. Whether you work from the heart, whether you work from the head, logical or reasonable, if you don't have attachments and you have the compassion, okay, don't have sympathy. No sympathy, my friends. Remember, you will attract cancer, you will attract TB, you will attract everything if you have sympathy. Oh, my friend got COVID. No sympathy, please. If you want teach him meditation, at least send an oxygen cylinder. No problem. But no sympathy. What happens if you have sympathy? You take the Xerox copy of the etheric body of that person inside you. Unnecessary. We are here to solve our problems. We are here to get our freedom. Why you are taking others' problems into you? Sympathy. My mother knows about meditation, she will not do. But when the world is in a crisis, she calls me because she knows that I know better than someone else. She said, going forward, will there be good days? I replied, already the good days have started. For them, COVID is a big punishment. For me, COVID is a great karma, great action. The virus gets into everybody's body and decides whether he has to live or not. Okay, whatever the outside science tries, doesn't care. People who has the highest common sense, people who has the highest sixth sense, they are not worried about any virus or bacteria because they are not the body. The body has to go back to the earth, it is okay. When people are in misery, and many people message me say, I have COVID, please meditate. How my meditation is going to help you, my friend? If the same question, if I ask, I am hungry, can you please eat? If this question doesn't make sense, then that also doesn't make sense. My sister-in-law, brother-in-law has COVID, please meditate for them. I can show you all the messages. It is just an ignorance. Because of the ignorance they ask. When I say, okay, ask them to meditate, there's no reply. Last scene is read, but no reply. It means, see, even doing meditation is a karma. You have to be a karma yogi. Yeah, you have to meditate to get out of it. But people don't. They want shortcuts. Press a button, something will happen. That is not going to happen. He works best who works without any motive, neither for money, nor for fame, or nothing else. And when a man can do that, he will be a Buddha. There will be something called hidden motives. Okay. If there is a hidden motives, it will not. Shantini ji, I'll answer to the question at the end. Out of him will come the power to work in such a manner and will transform the world. The man represents highest ideal of karma yoga. Buddha is the greatest example ever living. Whatever comes, there's no hidden motives. Be transparent, be open. There are people who love me, people who hate me to the core because I am very, very open. No hidden motives. Upfront, right upfront. Whoever comes to me, I'll ensure I'll bring out everything from their mind and put in front of my table and say, let's discuss now. Whatever they speak, whatever they don't speak, everything I'll put in front of them. People are scared. You have to be transparent. You should not hold anything about anybody. If you have anger towards anybody, again, that is attachment. Emotional attachment. If you have a desire of something, see, have a goal. But it should not be like a spider web. Then what happens? There is no mental peace. And if you have emotional attachment with anybody, no health. Sorry. Immunity comes when you don't have attachment towards anything. Detachment. Where is the immunity comes from? Emotionally. Don't talk about that person. I always tell you, once I had anger on one lady, after 2 months, I came to know she died 1 month ago. I always remember that. I'm holding something, some emotion for a person who has passed away. My God, my goodness. That day I decided I'm not going to hold anything. I'll call them and I'll either speak or I'll forgive and move. Forgiving, again, remember, forgiving means disconnecting. Forget, it cannot happen here. How can you forget? It will be always inside somewhere, subconscious, deep conscious, super conscious. I don't know. Somewhere it will be hidden. You cannot forget every incident. If they give some clue, you'll remember. Something naturally goes, that is okay. But forgetting is very difficult. Forgiving it is in our hands. Okay. The computer control A, delete is there, forget. But here I don't know where to go and delete. But what is in my hand? Forgiving. You forgive, and what happens? You are immediately into peace, and you come back to this moment. You are happy. You will do the karma. You don't forgive. Spider web. Whenever that person photo is seen in Facebook, or whenever you see him on the road, and whenever you talk to that person, a lot of chemical reactions. And that represents you are going to die soon. That represents you are going to attract so many diseases. Who created this reality? Blaming the God for everything. Okay, so let's look into next point. The word karma is derived from Sanskrit kri, to do all actions. All action is karma. Action. Okay, in the movie they said, okay, cut action. The moment you are born, it said action. Okay, finally they say cut, cut. Okay, what cut? Silver card cut. Gone. The silver card is cut. They will not say end. They will not say close. They will say cut. One day my silver card will be cut. Technically, this word also means effects of actions. We all are doing karma all the time. I am talking to you. That is karma. You are listening. That is karma. We breathe. That is karma. We walk. That is karma. Everything we do, physical, mental, is karma, and it leaves us marks on us. It is going to leave a mark on us. Get into everything, but see, when I have 5 works or 10 works, I don't know. People say I don't have work. I always find difficulty in choosing what work I should do. I always fill myself with so much of works. So much of work. Yes, I am workaholic. I am workaholic. I don't know what time I sleep, what I eat, but I am workaholic because I love works. Working, 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 working. I love work. Highest purpose works. Remember that. Highest purpose. Sometimes you have only 3 choices. Among the 3, see which is highest. Start working. We'll see final few points. We are all do karma all the time. Okay, this one we saw. Karma in effects on characters more tremendous power than man to deal. Man is as it were a center attracting all the powers of the universe towards himself. And this center is fusing them all again and sending off in a big current. Such a center is a real man, almighty. Good and bad, misery, happiness, all running towards him, clinging around him. And out of them he fashions mighty stream of tendency called character and throws it outside. He has the power of drawing and also has the power of throwing out. There was a one great statement given by one senior master about a great yogi called Valala. Okay. Even a physical object can pierce him and go out. Nothing will happen to him. It means he's so transparent. Even the physical objects pass through him. Others few words are not passing through us. See, the physical objects are passing through him. Others few words, it comes and stores here. Certain knowledge comes and bounces. Everything has to pass. Accept as quick as possible. See, when the moment you meditate, everything will not happen overnight. The duration will keep reducing. What duration? Not your sadhana. The sadhana has to increase. What duration will reduce? The time for your inaction to the action will reduce. The time for your ignorance to awareness will reduce. You will become more aware. Just see last year how you were and how you are this year. Last year we all went through this pandemic, and this year also we are now undergoing. But we are more prepared now. We are more accepting now. Why? Because we have already experienced it once. Second experience, it is very easy. For every mother, first baby is a nightmare. Second baby is okay. You already experienced that. So experience will teach us a lot. All is determined by karma, that is work. No one can get anything unless he earns it. Remember it. Something comes as a gift, very easily it vanishes. I have seen it. This is an eternal law. But if you earn it, you will have it. May sometimes think it is not so, but in the long run, be always convinced. Beautiful words by Vivekananda ji. We go on accumulating things for our physical enjoyment, but only what we earn is really ours. A fool may buy all the books in the world, and they'll be in his library, but he'll be able to read only those he deserves to. And this deserving is produced by karma. Our karma determines what we deserve and what we assimilate. True, you may have everything in front of your eyes. Okay, but your every action, it is bounded by your previous karmas. Only with a strong determination, and when you see a highest purpose in whatever you do, you detach from unnecessary things and you move forward. With regard to Karma Yoga, the Gita says that it is doing work with cleverness and as a science. Cleverness and science. The science, what science? Karma science. What does the science says? What you sow, so you reap. A master once told me that you sow something, something will come. I said, how it will come? Whatever you sow, only that will come. You sow something, something will come. There is no science in it. See? Like randomly you throw a ball, something will happen. It will not happen. You must remember that all the work is simply to bring out the power of the mind which is already there and to wake up the soul. Every karma you do, you must use your mind power. But you should not allow the mind to stop that karma. And every work, after the work, you must be more awakened. The soul must be more awakened. The power is inside every man. So is knowing the different works like blows to them bring out to the cause of giant to wake up. Okay, friends, I think we have discussed enough on the Karma Yoga. Such a beautiful words. There's a very big list still there is to continue, but I'm just stopping here. Only half of the material I read, I think, but there is so much knowledge Swami Vivekananda ji has given to us. We have to learn from everybody, from their point of view. From Vivekananda ji perspective, what is Karma Yoga? From Sadananda Yoga ji, what is Karma Yoga? Okay, from Eckhart Tolle, what he said, from everybody, from Torkom Saradin, what did he say? From everywhere, not only the books, you must talk with everybody. And today, the one big challenge exercise I'm giving to all of you, which I am also going to do, is keep checking where the karma is, where you have attachment with anything. Keep checking that today. The whole day I'm going to do that exercise. Do I have attachment with anything? If I have attachment, ensure you detach, cut. Thank you, my friends. Now I'll open the forum for questions. If you have any questions, please raise the hand in Zoom. There are a few questions people asked during the session. Kirtiji, how to differentiate ego and self-respect? Both are same. See, ego means what? Identity. Self-respect is also identity. I am a soul. Okay. If you think you are a body, you have all these words, ego, self-respect. The moment you realized that you are a soul, and this body is not yours. You are rented from the Mother Earth. Thank you, Swarnalata ji. You have experienced everything in your life with a great master. Every workshop is highly motivational. Your words feed in our mind. Thank you. Thank you, madam. Punita ji, one of my friends staying in Rajasthan, she also wants to join, but she know only Hindi. Please help her. There's a lot of Hindi sessions are going. PMC Hindi. Go on YouTube, search. Please ask her to join there. Why they have to only learn from me? Your words like Gita to us. Thank you, Swarnalata ji. What about the prayers, sir? Prayers are outpost. Meditation is like the main temple. Okay, prayers are if you think that God is somewhere outside, you pray. If you realize you are the God, you meditate. People say, pray for my son. Okay, yeah. Dependency again. Every experience we got new creation. Universe only wants more experience. Thank you. Thank you, Dayaji. Yeah. Yeah, Swarnalata try that experiment. I thought Karma Yoga is simply to be mindful with the work, to be united, but there's a lot more. Yeah, whatever we have discussed here is only tip of the iceberg. There's so much. But let us first implement this. Okay, let's be practical. Sir, what do you say about attachment with the child? You possess the child. Okay, you possess the child, no problem. When the child is there, you enjoy with the child. Okay, but you have to learn to detach. You have to learn to detach. Otherwise, you will be in misery. You will be more fearful, more scared. Okay, you have to take care of them. You can have all the love you have, but detach. Someday you have to do that. Sooner the better. Okay, we'll start taking questions. Yes, Anuradha madam.
Good morning, Ayyappa. Your session was so good.
Yes, yes.
It's very nice. I wanted to give an experience of mine
Yes,
and one doubt. The doubt, first I'll ask you the doubt. The doubt is, you have told about the karma yoga that is doing something very high purpose for the universe or this thing. Before this COVID and all, I had chance to go to schools, teach meditation, and schools are closed. And even in meditation centers, no one are coming. All have left hometown, work from home and all. So that is little bit disturbing me. In what way now I can, if I wanted to go to, I don't mind going each one's house, tapping that door, talking about meditation, but they might not allow me now at this situation. Okay, so that is only one thing is disturbing me. Why I'm wasting so much of time.
Yes, you asked such a beautiful question. Okay, I was telling the voice is breaking, by the way, ma'am.
That is little bit dissatisfaction in my heart, Ayyappa.
See, simple.
So
it is an attachment. It's a clear sign of attachment.
Oh, that also. Okay.
Yeah, obviously. Only when people come to the center, I'll be happy. It's attachment. I go and physically teach, it's attachment.
Okay.
The core concept is teaching.
Okay.
Today, we can't go anybody's house, nobody can come, no problem. I'll find online. Tomorrow, there is no internet, I'll find some other way. Teaching is what we want.
Yeah.
But what happens, you are so attached to teach physically.
Yeah.
And now that is not happening, so you are suffering. Your misery is attachment towards physical teaching.
Okay. Simple. Okay. Yeah, understood. So
I'm also a people lover. I want the presence of people I love more than that. But now I have become Zoom lover. But when this pandemic is over, I will shut down the laptop. I'll go out, meet people.
Because I'm not used to this Zoom. I'm only used to being a student in a Zoom, but not a teacher. Anyway, I will see it to it.
Start.
Yeah. Another next one experience is a fantastic experience. What you told me, same thing happened 4 or 5 days back when tomorrow lockdown is announced today. 3 days back, I wanted even other people who are in the group to listen. It's a really practical experience which happened to me. What
yes
I said now. Usually, in my personal account, I always used to have few lakhs. Okay. So what happened once my son left, this microbrewery business has come down. From past 6 months, I was taking care. And only after he left, I came to know that there were so many mistakes going on in his business. He has taken COVID loans and all. And just 1 week back, I was under immense pressure that I have to clear the COVID loans because that is not like any other ordinary loans. There is a specific time for business people, you have to clear it. And property tax, GST, everything. So what my son very easily said, "Mommy, don't give salaries for another 2 months. We'll see later on." I said, that cannot be happen. I don't know how this generation are doing the business. When I was doing, see, there should be a planning. I said, you can't stop salaries for the employees. I'm sorry, all my personal accounts, that 30 lakh what I had, I distributed, I closed the loan side, this thing. And you know something, Ayyappa, in every account of mine, minimum 1,000 rupees was there. Once that was over, I was so relieved. I was so happy. First time in my life, I'll tell you. Each and see how the days within for 3 days, how things has changed. From lakhs, it came. You have to believe it, Ayyappa. Every 4 accounts, I had 4 accounts. Minimum, I left 1,000. That's all. I never thought what till this lockdown periods is over, what to do. I told all the employees not to come. Stay back at home. You will get your salaries, everything cleared off, the property tax, this, that, everything. And I laughed out, Ayyappa. I was so happy. I'll tell you, as you said, my body, my heart, my soul became very light. Appa, I'm relieved of all this. There's no money in my bank. Now I don't mind my younger son taking my debit cards and going, takes a card. Every half an hour, the ting sound will come. I have to be seeing the SMS, how much he has drawn, how much he has drawn. Now there's nothing there to draw. See, I was so relieved. And I was going on getting messages from my mobile phone, saying that I have to pay 612 rupees. But where is the money? In 1,000 rupees, that's the minimum. You can't draw this thing. 612 rupees. It was going on giving me messages. And suddenly, the very next day, one of my IT returns, something came back. You will get that refund of the IT returns. I got 38,000 in my account. And then I paid off my mobile bill. So I was thinking to myself, see how, I was not attached when there was so many lakhs in my account. Nor I was not disappointed. It completely became to zero. And I was feeling very happy. I don't know why that happiness came to me, Ayyappa. So relieved and so happy. I was literally laughing to myself. My God, today I'm nothing. I'm only zero. Finished. The same experience, what you said, you were saying, in pocket, if there's no money also, no problem.
Yeah.
So that happened. But for my survival for this month, the universe somewhere, some refund or something, it gave me 38,000. I'm happy. This month I can manage with the 38,000.
That's all.
No problem. So that is the real experience, because this was the first time in my life I got such type of experience. And I just wanted to say, and nothing moved me up because of that.
That is why you're more happy, because this kind of experience you never got it. So when you got such a beautiful experience,
it was really wonderful experience. I never knew till then, Ayyappa, that having so much of burden, so much of, something, not so much, that little much of money also is something, when it was relieved, no.
Yeah.
I was so happy. Finally, there's nothing I possess complete. That's all.
Very nice, man. Very nice experience. It's a great motivation to a lot of people. Yes.
Thank you, Ayyappa. It was a nice class today. Very nice.
Thank you, man. Thank you. All the best. Such a beautiful experience. Everybody will undergo this ups and downs. Okay, ups and downs is life. When you take the pulse, it will be ups and downs. It will not be straight. If it is straight, you are gone. Surendra sir.
Namaste, sir.
Namaste, sir. Namaste.
So, Anuradha madam, wonderful experience. So, I also undergone many in this 1 year, several ups and downs.
Yeah.
Especially for me, this COVID has actually, if that was my motto. But I used to go to the center and do the meditation for 10 people, almost 3-4 months only. We used to meet only 5-10 people only we used to meet. Now, this Zoom we are attending, no? Now I have connected in this 1 year, thousands of people I have connected. So it actually helped. If I have done the center only my meditation, I would not meet so many people, impossible. So it actually helped me a lot. Mantra that personally
voice is breaking, sir. My internet has issues.
My energy used to go down. That my energy levels are going up. So
can anybody chat, please? But I don't know whether my internet have issues or their side.
On this and continue to master these detachments.
Okay, I think I have very poor internet connectivity here.
Thank you, sir.
I'm losing, sir. I'm losing.
My voice is there, sir.
Yeah, no. I'm not able.
Hello, sir.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I'm there, sir.
Sir, you are able to hear, sir?
Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
So I really lot of things are happening in my life. So much, but as you said, the highest purpose. So I am. My purpose is I already told you: learn meditation, teach meditation, spread meditation, and practice meditation. So I am continuously on this focus, and other things are happening automatically. My material life, what is required for me, it's already happening automatically. That's the fantastic thing which I used to focus more in my 50 years towards the material life. When I shifted my focus suddenly in 2019, things are happening. Other things, my focus, it's happening automatically.
It will definitely.
So the universe is automatically dumping my soul evolve. It's happening that enlightenment is going to different dimensions week after week.
Okay.
And I'm getting more relaxed. Earlier, I used to have BP, some other issues. And all. No, things are all closed. I am fully out of all any problems or any because I'm accepting. As Sai Kumar said, you said no, like that. I'm accepting all the situations and all this wherever I'm just detaching. And I know I'm a creator. I can create whatever I can do it. So that's a confidence is building up. And today's session is fantastic, sir. Every session go to the different dimension.
Yes, sir.
That's the great.
Keep experimenting everything.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Keep experimenting everything. And today I have a Kannada session at 3. Okay, though I don't know Kannada in a great way, so I have accepted and I started giving. That's a new experience.
So now.
Okay, again, I'm losing his voice. Thank you, sir. Okay, let me take Neeta Patel ji. Yes, madam, you can unmute and talk.
Namaste. How are you?
I'm always fine.
I always enjoy your sessions, really. It is very informative. I send to all my friends. I always forward all your recordings to my friends, and even they enjoy. I have 2 questions.
Yes,
it is said that if you meditate in group, it is more powerful. So is it good for Zoom meeting, meditation as well?
yeah, see, this was a great question for many people. Okay, so but I have experienced it works. See, when we are in a group now, in physical group, we are all in one aura. Okay, it works beautifully, fantastically well. But even in the Zoom, what I have experienced personally, now all of us, maybe around 50 people are now 60, 70 people are connected. Everybody is now connected via mind. If you think about the moon, you are there in the moon next second because the mind is so powerful. And when we are all in one concept of one conference or one particular subject, we all are tuned. This is like the FM radio tuning. And so now all of us are tuned to karma and reincarnation session. That is how when we meditate now with one music or one guidance, wherever you are in the world, it always works. This is a great experience even I got last 1 year. Previously, it was all physical meetings. That we know, but even the Zoom is working. Because everything is a frequency. Hope that answers the question, ma'am.
Yeah, I started on 20th of this month for 41 days meditation. Always do 2 times before sleeping 1 hour. And I get up at 3 o'clock, around 3 o'clock, and do meditation for 1 hour again. So on this Purnima, I was meditating around 3 o'clock, and suddenly I felt that something was going on over here. It became a little bit warm, hot, and something very severe feeling I got. It was rotating. Just for a couple of minutes, it was there. Then it went away. So I was wondering what was that.
So it's all the energy movements, okay, into different sectors of the chakras. Okay. Previously, you have never meditated before, so the energy never went here. So when the energy goes here for the first time, whatever is inactive, it will try to make it active. So sometimes we will see those experiences physically. Our senses will understand. Most of the time, we will not know because it is beyond body. So whatever you have experienced is this one energy center. This is a knowledge eye. Third eye means knowledge eye. Not only visions. For you to understand certain spiritual concepts, you must have the knowledge eye. If somebody's experience you are able to understand, it means you have the knowledge. Okay, this is sixth sense. So those capabilities which were hidden inside you all these years, now it started opening up. So that was the indications.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm very happy to
Thank
speak.
you so much.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, so we have 3 more people. The internet is very poor. We have to accept. Bhaskar Rao, sir, please talk, sir. Please unmute and talk, sir. Bhaskar Rao.
Okay, unmuted. Yeah, can you hear me, please?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So one question, sir. Basically, you said that angels, they don't take any birth on the earth, whereas the astral masters will take at least one birth, right? So, what is the eligibility of a soul to be part of this astral masters for guiding the mankind here?
You need to.
What could be the eligibility?
You have to refine your question, sir. It is not angels who cannot take or astral masters can take. If they have taken one birth, at least they are called astral masters. If they have not taken any birth so far, they are called angels. It's not vice versa.
Oh, okay.
An angel can take a birth. Then it will become an astral master. Because when you take birth at least once, you have to have an astral body. So then you will understand astral worlds. Then you are called astral master. Otherwise, you are in a pure conscious state. You are called an angel.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thanks, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. So very nice question. Okay. DR Hirve, sir. Can unmute and talk, sir. Yeah.
Very good morning, Ayyappa ji.
Namaste, sir.
I like your session very much. I am attending regularly from the 15th onward.
Wow.
And before that, I used to YouTube also for missed session to here. And I am very happy to learn new things and getting wisdom from all your knowledge you are giving to us. My question is that how to differentiate karmic diseases and psychosomatic diseases?
Very simple. When you start meditating,
yes, sir.
Anything which is psychosomatic, that is something which got created out of the mind, will vanish very soon.
Okay.
And medical science says 99% all our problems are psychosomatic.
Okay.
Example, your dad has sugar, BP, and somebody told you that because of that you also will get. It is because of psychosomatic. Those things will vanish. But karmic diseases are something which is because of our karma. Even after I meditated for so many years, if I have still some diseases, then it is called karmic diseases.
Okay.
Okay, our account will be very big. But we don't bring
Yes, sir.
everything in one lifetime.
Yes, sir.
Sanchita karma, prarabdha karma. So some small part we get it and we go through it. And it has to happen through the body. Because
Yes, sir.
created karma through the body, it has to happen through the body. So
Okay.
anything which is psychosomatic will vanish quickly. Anything which is taking time, it is karmic disease.
Okay. Is there any solution for karmic diseases?
See, karma can be vanished with knowledge.
Yes, sir.
Gnanabdi tatta karmanam. Okay. How we will get knowledge? People say, when you also said from your sessions, we are getting so much of knowledge. But a small correction, you are not getting knowledge, you are getting inspiration and information.
Yes, sir.
This is my experience is knowledge to you, but that is not knowledge, is only information. If you understand, if you go through some experiences, that will be converted as a knowledge to you. With the knowledge, you can vanish the karma.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
If you have knowledge, you will not accumulate any further, and that knowledge will burn all the past karmas.
Okay.
Suppose I have a problem with everybody, but finally one day if I realize that I am a soul, instantly that problem with everybody will vanish.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and I'll start forgiving everybody, and whatever the past bondages, everything will break in one shot,
Yes, sir.
like a thunderstorm. What happens? You will come out of many things in a very short time.
Okay. Okay.
So knowledge is the only thing which is going to help you. You will have to read a lot of books, listen from many people, do a lot of meditation. You will not understand everything, but whatever you are able to take it, you take it, and that you will always experience it, and you will come out of all the karmas.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for nice talking to you. Okay, finally today, Savitri ji.
సార్ నమస్తే సార్.
Namaste.
సార్ మేము చిత్తూరులో ఉంటాము, తెలుగు మాట్లాడతాను మీతో.
చెప్పండి మేడం.
సార్ నేను ఏప్రిల్ 15th మీ వీడియో చూశాను సార్. మా మేడం సీనియర్ పిరమిడ్ మాస్టర్ మాకు పంపించారు. ఆ రోజు నేను ఎలా చెప్పాలి, నేను ఆ రోజు చూసిన నెక్స్ట్ డే మార్నింగ్ 4 to 5 ఫస్ట్ టైం నా లైఫ్ లో థాట్లెస్ మెడిటేషన్ చేశాను సార్ నేను 4 to 5 మార్నింగ్. ఆ రోజుటి నుంచి మీరు నాకు తెలియదు కానీ ఆ రోజుటి నుంచి ఐ థాట్ దట్ యు ఆర్ మై ప్రీవియస్ గురుదేవ్ ఇన్ ఎనీ మై పాస్ట్ లైఫ్. నేను ఎప్పుడు మెడిటేషన్ చేసినా మిమ్మల్ని పిలుస్తాను. ఐ థింక్ దట్ మీరు అక్కడ నాకు ప్రెజెంట్ అవుతారు. ఎలా అంటే మ్యాథ్స్ టీచర్ హోల్డింగ్ ఎ స్టిక్ బిఫోర్ మీ. మీరు ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ చేస్తారా చేయలేదా అన్నట్టుగా ఆ థాట్స్ అన్నిటిని మీరు కంట్రోల్ చేయడము, నాకు మంచి థాట్లెస్ పొజిషన్ కి మీరు తీసుకెళ్లడము, ఇలా అంతా నేను ఫీల్ అవుతాను. తర్వాత మీ కర్మ సిరీస్ అన్ని చూశాను సార్ నేను. ఫస్ట్ థింగ్ వాట్ ఐ హావ్ డన్ ఈస్ ఆఫ్టర్ వాచింగ్ కర్మ పార్ట్ 2, ఫస్ట్ వెళ్ళి నేను మా నైబర్స్ ఎవరితో గొడవ పడ్డానో వాళ్ళకి పోయి ఫస్ట్ నేను నేర్పించాను మెడిటేషన్. అప్పుడు వదిలేసాను సార్. నేను మనస్ఫూర్తిగా వాళ్ళందరినీ పూర్తిగా క్షమించేసినాను. నాకు చాలా ఫ్రీ అనిపించింది నాకు. ఫ్రమ్ ఏప్రిల్ 16th ఆన్వర్డ్స్ నేను ఒక 50 members కి మెడిటేషన్ టీచ్ చేశాను సార్. ఇవంతా కూడా మీ ద్వారానే జరిగింది నాకు. నాకు తెలీదు, నేను ఐ మే బి స్టూడెంట్ ఆఫ్ యూ ఇన్ మై పాస్ట్ లైఫ్, ఐ థింక్ సో. ఐ హావ్ కనెక్టెడ్ సో మచ్ సార్. మీ వర్డ్స్ నాకు ఎలా తెలుస్తాయంటే ఒక షూట్ చేసినట్టు అనిపిస్తుంది టు మీ. Savitri, you are doing right, you are doing wrong. Every moment, sir, each and every second also, I feel that you are around me only, teaching me something. ఇప్పుడు కూడా మీరు నాకు అటాచ్మెంట్ డిటాచ్మెంట్ చెప్పారు. నేను 9th class చదువుతున్నప్పుడు సార్ నాకు ఒక డౌట్ ఉండేది. చనిపోతున్నారు, పుడుతున్నారు, ఇది కాకుండా ఏదో ఉంది, ఇది ఎందుకు మీరు అందరూ ఆలోచించట్లేదు అని మా ఫ్రెండ్స్ని అడిగేదాన్ని సార్ నేను. వాళ్ళందరూ నీకు పిచ్చి పట్టింది, నువ్వు సైలెంట్ గా ఉండు అని చెప్పేవారు. తర్వాత నేను స్పిరిచువల్ గా వెళ్ళిపోయాను సార్. పూజలు అవి వ్రతాలన్నీ చేయడము. నేను ఏది చేసినా నేను దాంట్లో గెట్ ఆన్ అయ్యాను సార్. ఈవెన్ సాయి షిరిడి సాయిబాబా ఆల్సో కేమ్ టు మై హౌస్ ఇన్ ద ఫార్మ్ ఆఫ్ ఎ గర్ల్ and talk so much discussed with me about some books and all. ఇలాన్ని జరిగింది నాకు. ఆఫ్టర్ దట్ ఓన్లీ ఫ్రమ్ 1.5 year ఐఎమ్ డూయింగ్ మెడిటేషన్ సార్. ఫ్రమ్ ఈ 1.5 year గా నాకు ఫుల్ గా ఫోర్ హెడ్ లో టింగ్లింగ్ సెన్సేషన్, టెలిపాథిక్ అని జరిగిపోతుంది. నేనేమనుకుంటా జరిగిపోతుంది. ఎవరైనా ఏమన్నా చెప్తుంటే నాకు I can say before they say, sir.
Very nice.
ఇలాంటివన్నీ జరుగుతున్నాయి. ఫస్ట్ టైం సార్ 15 days వెయిట్ చేశాను సార్ నేను మీ సెషన్ కోసము. థ్యాంక్ యూ వెరీ మచ్. ఎస్టర్డే ఐ గాట్ ద మెసేజ్ ఫ్రమ్ యూ.
So nice.
థ్యాంక్ యూ సార్. థ్యాంక్ యూ సార్.
Very happy to
సార్
talk.
నేను చాలా వరకు చేంజ్ అయ్యాను సార్. ఇంకా నేను మా గ్రూప్ లో కూడా చెప్పాను, ఇఫ్ ఎనీవన్ ఇస్ అటాక్డ్ బై కరోనా, వై షుడ్ యు ఆర్ టేకింగ్ దేర్ కర్మ, లీవ్ ఇట్ దెమ్. వాళ్ళ కర్మను వాళ్ళని అనుభవించాలి. చాలా వరకు నేను చాలా మారిపోయాను సార్. యాంగర్ లేదు నాలో చాలా వరకు. దిస్ ఆల్ డన్ బై యూ ఓన్లీ సార్. థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్. నా పర్పస్ ఏమని నేను తెలుసుకున్నాను సార్. మెడిటేషన్ ఈజ్ మై పర్పస్, టీచింగ్ ఈజ్ మై పర్పస్, టు టీచ్ మై మెడిటేషన్ టు ఆల్.
You are in the right path, ma'am. I'm very happy for you.
థ్యాంక్ యూ సార్. సార్ నేను ఎవరికి మెడిటేషన్ చెప్పినా, ఎలాంటి వాళ్ళైనా సరే నాకు వింటున్నారు సార్. నేను చెప్తుంటే దే ఆర్ సిన్సియర్ గా వింటున్నారు సార్ వాళ్ళందరూ. దట్స్ ద గ్రేట్ థింగ్ సార్. చాలా వరకు వింటున్నారు నేను చెప్పడం అంతా. అవునా ఇంత ఉందా, వెన్ ఐ ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ అబౌట్ ద 7 bodies ఆఫ్ ఎ మ్యాన్, ఎంత బాగా వాళ్ళు వింటున్నారంటే, ఓ దిస్ ఈస్ ద వే టు క్లియర్ ఆల్ అవర్ డిసీజెస్ ఇన్ అవర్ బాడీ అని చెప్పి ఎథరిక్ బాడీ చెప్తున్నప్పుడు దే వర్ ఇన్ షాక్ సార్. లిటరల్లీ this all knowledge came from you only sir. Thank you so much sir.
Thank you ma'am.
Every day నేను ఇంకోటి కూడా మీలాగే అనుకుంటాను. Every day I am also doing a drama sir. So many times I realized that if I want to wear a good saree to impress my husband, if I cook very well means I want to impress my children. This is the drama every day I am doing. ఇలా రియలైజ్ అయ్యేదాన్ని.
Continue your work, madam. Very happy for you.
Thank you sir. Thank you so much sir.
Thank you. So nice. At the age of during your 9th class, you had the realization, know more about the souls. That is very important. Supriya ji, mute.
Thank you so much, sir, for the session. Wonderful session.
Yes.
I want to share my experience that in dreams I'm getting a lot of pains in my body. I think more than 3 times I'm getting the same dream. I'm undergoing same kind of pains. Is it? You know,
your voice is breaking. So you are getting the same kind of dreams, and there's a lot of pain in the dreams, right? I can understand.
Yes, sir. But what I can't differentiate whether it is a dream. In dream also we feel it as reality.
Are you a born vegetarian or a non-vegetarian?
Does it denote anything?
I lost you, ma'am. Maybe if you can hear my voice, let me answer your question. See, people who eat or ate a lot of non-vegetarians food, all the animals which we have killed, which we have eaten, those things will attack astral. All the body pain, whatever you are getting, is all in the astral. That's why you are able to see those in the dream, but not in the reality here. So the more you meditate, the more you enlighten yourself, you will get out of all those things. Okay, only one solution. You need to meditate and you have to enlighten yourself more. Okay, that hope I answered your question. Sneha? Yes.
Yes. Hi. It's like, I don't know, every time, whatever I'm undergoing, you have the next session is on that. I don't know how it is happening. So it is like, I am basically practicing this, I don't get attached with people and all, but somewhere we get like things, it is fine. Like when you were talking that there's like my laptop, my phone, my sessions. So that is also very nice. Like I have attachment. Like if I'm telling that if I don't want to get attached with people, but I have attachment with my phone, with my laptop, even if it's in not, it is in like in a condition ki anybody will see and throw it out, I will like, it is mine and I will keep it. So that is also one part of attachment which I realized ki, yeah, you can have attachment with things and if it is good or bad, I don't know. So that I will see.
There is a no good and bad.
Yeah,
It's
that
only
only.
like a more profitable, less profitable. When it comes to the experience, when you don't have attachment, you do get more experiences. If you have attachment, you get less experiences. And we have to be wise enough to maximize our experiences. Very nice.
Mostly what I happen, no, that I don't want to like whenever I meet just like my friends and all, they say like I don't express much to them like what they are for me. So basically they say some things and I feel like yeah, why they're telling that I don't want to get into all these emotions, and they're like, why you are always like that only. So even there was a question in chat about emotions. I think what is the importance of emotion in spiritual practice? So we cannot be fully detached from anything, or we cannot, or should not be totally connected to with the emotions.
See, have a realization always that you are not this body. And be in all the emotions. Through emotions, we learn. But if you don't have the realization, you attach with emotions. Okay. Anger is okay. Love is okay. Fear is okay. All these are different experiences. It will give us a lot of experiences. But if you forget that you are not this body, that emotion will create more attachment. You are in a stage, you know there is a skit. You know this skit is only temporary, but you need to play well in the skit. You need to act well. But after the act is over, you need to laugh. When I scold someone, after 5 minutes, I laugh out loudly, like what a kind of drama it is. Understand? When you scold and then you hold that for many days, then what is the point? See, emotions are good. Emotions, we are emotional beings. Okay, just like after the skit, we all gather and we some incident happened, we all shout at each other, there'll be a quarrel. But after that, if you are unable to laugh at what happened, then there is attachment. If you take things personally, going inside, then there is a problem. Kya drama hua hai? Then we all laugh and then we come out of it. That's it. That experience is over. Full stop. If there is attachment, it is not over. You carry it. Okay, so emotions are good without attachment.
Yes, yeah. We should let go of what all has happened. Only the learning should be carried forward, I guess.
The soul only
It's
looks
very
for that.
nice. Like
The soul, what?
nice.
The
Thank you
soul
so
only
much.
looks for learnings. And if you realize you are a soul, you don't look
Learnings.
for learnings, experiences. Okay. Train your mind. Train your mind slowly.
Yes.
You'll achieve it. Okay. Thank you very much, Neha.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Nice to see you. Thank you very much. Thank you, friends. There's some poor internet connectivity, but still we are able to pull out the session very well today. So much of great learning from Swami Vivekananda ji. So he's a great inspirer. He's the first person to inspire me to get into spirituality way back in 1999. And today I'm very happy we have dedicated this session to him. And we have learned so much from Vivekananda ji. The whole world has learned so much from him and his masters. Thank you very much again. We'll connect in next series 20 next week. Until then, signing off, your meditation coach Ayyappa Pindi. Thank you. Namaste. Bye bye.